Well, lately I've been spending a lot of money on USB and FireWire hard drive enclosures. Uh, the problem is the quality just isn't that great. The power bricks on them wear out pretty fast, and they cook the drives. And, the drives get really hot in them. I started looking at NAS boxes, but I kind of still want the drive portable, so I can pick it up, take it to a friend's house, or whatever, plug it into another computer, and not have this big-ass bulky box to carry around. So today I'm going to attempt on camera, I can't make any promises, to make a about a six bay USB drive enclosure. I'm basically going to make it out of this metal toolbox. You can find them at yard sales for like $1 or $2, or go to the hardware store. I think this one was about $10, whatever. We're going to power it off a regular PC power supply. Let's see. I'm going to put 6 drives in. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to mount them yet. I got this piece of metal from the hardware store that I can make rails to attach in it and mount it, which would give it a good amount of airflow and make it fairly easy to install the drives. Or I got these drive bays that I managed to salvage out of old computers, which would actually make the drives easier to take out and put back in, but would restrict the airflow and wouldn't look as nice in the box. So I'm not sure which method I'm going with yet. We'll see, whatever works. But if you decide to build one, you can go with either method. I didn't bring the hard drives with me, but you know what a fucking hard drive looks like. I'm going to power it off of just a regular baby ATX power supply. No big deal. You could pull one of these out of a junk computer anywhere. To connect the drives, I got these. I put a link in the show notes where I got them from. I got these for about, I think, $8 a piece. It's USB 2.0 to either serial ATA. It does 2.5-inch hard drive. The other side's 3.5-inch hard drive. It comes with these power bricks, so if you want, you can use these. But I'm using the power supply because it's one wire I have to hook up, and it's a much cleaner, better source of power. But if you're salvaging, it comes with this little adapter, so you can go from a parallel ATA hard drive to a serial ATA power adapter. Now, if you get this adapter kit and you decide to go with the computer power supply like I am, just pull this off, and you're probably using an old salvage power supply that doesn't have serial ATA plugs. So just put it on your power supply. Try not to break it, and now you do. What else do I have? I got these red LED fans, like $3 each. I got these fan grills just because they look cool. It's a skull and crossbones. You really don't need them, but if you want to put an extra finishing touch on them, they look kind of neat. USB hub. I only got a 4-port one here because the one that I'm ordering for this project hasn't come yet. But I'm going to put a 7-port hub in here. And what else did I forget? Oh, I'm thinking about possibly putting a Linksys WUSB 54G USB Wi-Fi adapter on. So I got here somewhere. I think I lost it. Oh, here it is. I got a panel mount end connector that I'm going to mount on this case also for future purposes. That way you can hook into Wi-Fi. That's not getting done today. So what tools are we going to need for the project? Well, basically you need a drill. I'd recommend getting a Dremel for cutting out the bays. Oh, I know I forgot something. I got this 20-in-1 drive bay Yeah, front panel, fan control, temperature sensor, memory card reader, all that bullshit. We're going to try and hook that up. Not everything in it will be hooked up, but at least we'll be able to control the speed of our fans, be able to see the temperature of the hard drives, have alarms, and have front panel USB on this if you need to plug in anything extra USB, and a memory card reader, because it's always nice to have as much as you can in such a small case for a portable device. As far as tools to put this project together, like I said, you need the drill, you need the Dremel. I picked up this hole saw kit at Harbor Depot, at Harbor Freight for I think $6. You need about a 3-inch hole saw blade to cut the holes for the fan. And I think I covered everything, if not. Anyway, we're going to cut to me trying to put this thing together. I'm not sure if it's going to show up on video or not, so I might just take some still pictures of the process, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Okay, the first step you want to do is, as you can see, I'm grinding off the edge on the one side. So I'll have room to mount a fan down there because that's going to get in the way. So just take your Dremel, grind it off, and eventually either you can cut all the way through it or just weaken it enough so that you can bend it off. The main thing you got to worry about is be careful about the metal splinters that come off. All the metal dust with grinding in that case, if that gets into a hard drive or your power supply, it will short something out and it won't be fun. We'll skip ahead to the next step. Now you can see, basically I took the front panel, temperature sensor, LCD, whatever the fuck you want to call it thing, and I traced it on the box, and now we're going through with the Dremel and actually cutting a hole to put the face panel through. My fine motor skills kind of suck, so as you can see there, my wife's cutting it for me. She's actually surprisingly pretty good with the Dremel. I guess the shape of it and that it vibrates. She actually enjoys one of my power tools. But we're going to skip ahead, or I'm going to speed up this video however the editing works. And we'll finish cutting out this front panel faceplate thingy. Okay, now you see we have the hole cut out for the front panel faceplate. We're just smoothing out the edges a little bit. One of the problems though is we accidentally cut it a little bit too big. So when you trace with a magic marker or whatever, you might want to cut towards the inside of the line rather than dead center of the line. You can always go back and widen your hole later. Now, if you can see on camera, what I'm doing is I got some vacuum line from the automotive store, or actually I had some sitting in the back of my car, and I'm just going to cut it and put a slit down the center of it and put that over the edges. Not only does that smooth out the edges so they're not sharp and you won't cut yourself on it, but it also fills in the gaps so that the faceplate will fit a little bit tighter. Next step I need to do is mount the power supply in it. Now, I'm using a baby ATX power supply. It fits in the case real nice. It's pretty small. I believe it's 150 watts. I think that's the smallest you can get. It'll do the job, no problem. There's a little hole on the side that you can put a screw through to mount it. So I'm going to drill a hole in the side of the toolbox and use that just to mount the power supply so it doesn't move around much inside. So the last thing you want is it moving around and hitting the hard drives or something coming unplugged. Remember, this is a portable unit, so it's going to take a little bit of abuse. Okay, the next step is installing a fan. As you see, I'm just going to put the fan down, or in this step what I did is I put the fan down and traced the fan. Now, I kind of fucked up with that. As you see later on, I have them fan grills, them Skol fan grills. It actually worked out better when I traced the fan grill and just cut out from that instead of using the whole entire fan. If you make the hole a little bit smaller than the fan, it looks a whole lot nicer. But as you see, pretty much trace the fan or the fan grill, however you feel like doing it, and draw an X along the center of it so you can see where the center point is. Drill a hole in the center, and now you're going to use that hole saw bit that I was talking about. Now, I thought that would actually cut a nice perfect hole in the case, but apparently them bits are meant for wood and not metal, so they really didn't cut through good. But they did score it pretty good so that it gave me a good path so that we could trace it out with the Dremel and cut a nice round circular hole with the Dremel. Okay, I don't have video of this next step. Somebody fucked up my camera. But I took some still pictures. As you can see, I made rails to put the hard drives on. I mounted them from front to back of the hard drive. I found they fit best that way. The problem I ran into is you can only fit serial ATA drives in there. If you're using a parallel ATA drive, the connector sticks out a little bit too far. So I only had one parallel ATA drive, so I made a mount out of L brackets and mounted that on the lid of the case, as you can see in this picture here. The next thing left to do is just run the wires. I'm sure you can figure out, drill a hole in the case so that you can put your power wire through and your USB cable. And I personally just tied down all my wires to the existing rails that I put in for the hard drive. Just run all your USB wires and your power wires and hook up the wires on the back of the front panel LCD, and you're pretty much done. Sorry this video didn't turn out as good as I planned it to, but like I said, my camera got knocked over and I lost quite a bit of the footage. I really hope you get some use out of this. This case originally was supposed to be a 6-bay hard drive, and because of that parallel ATA hard drive not fitting down the bottom, that's when I got the idea to mount it to the lid to the case. So it became a 7-bay hard drive, so that means this thing's capable of holding 7 terabytes or more of data. That's a lot of data. A lot of people ask me, well, why would you build something that holds that much information? I mean, what would you ever use it for? My answer is, whatever the fuck I want, really. A lot of people call me a pirate, or, you know, other names, stuff like that. I'm preparing for the apocalypse, and I prefer the term that I'm a digital historian. So, I hope you get some use out of this. Check the show notes. I should be able to pack a lot more information on the show notes. Like I said, because the camera's not functioning properly right now.